That dude fucking sucks.
Listen, guys, if you're looking for a stacked NBA 2K19 account, an account with a high overall, maxed out badges, and everything you could want, hit up my boy Sports TMB. The link to his Twitter will be in the description, man. Tell him that I sent you, and he will hook you up. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are y'all doing? Today, I am bringing you one of our first games in the WR Pro-Am League. This is a Pro-Am League that is one of the more well-known Pro-Am leagues. You have to pay to get into it, and for the most part, you would think the teams are very good, you know what I mean? But I'm going to give you my opinion as the video goes on about the overall quality of the league. But check it out. So if you get this video to 3,000 likes, I will stream the playoffs for this league, barring we get in, but I'm assuming we're going to make the playoffs. And my goal was to stream the league as a whole, every game that we play, but in all honesty, a lot of the games are not as competitive as you would think, so it's like, I don't think people really want to watch 30, 40-point blowouts. So I guess I could stream some of them, but for the most part, we've only had a few close games, and, well, let's just get into it, and you guys will see. So you see the lineup they're running. The lineup we're running today in this game is a rebounding rim protector, my 6'10 pure slasher, a 6'10 pure lock, a shot creating sharpshooter, and the 99 overall sharpshooting playmaker that my boy Wade runs on. So we switch up to two guard a lot, but for the most part, we always have a lock, a rim protector, and my slasher. And my slasher is basically a lock, as you guys have seen, the defensive badges that he gets, but he is a freak of nature, man. You're going to see this game, and this is one of the first games we played in the league. So, like, we're going, obviously, it's a league game. Money's on the line. Like, the winner of the league gets, like, a couple $1,000s. Like, you're going sweaty. Both teams are trying their absolute hardest, obviously, to win the game, because who doesn't want to win a couple $1,000s playing a video game? You know what I mean? But you see right off the bat, it's a back and forth first quarter. It's just something about us. Like, we always get off to kind of a slow start. But once we catch our rhythm, especially defensively, we're a team that, who knows, we could make some noise. Obviously, it's our first time playing in a real, serious Pro-Am league, so we'll see how we do. But for the most part, we're off to a good start. I'm going to show you the league standings and everything at the end of the video. But I just want to say, like, you would think because it's a Pro-Am league where you have to pay to get in, you see they call timeout right there because we start going on a little run. We go up 12-6. Because you have to pay to get in, you would think all the teams are very, very serious. Now, if you're a person that's into Pro-Am, you look at teams like, let's just name it, like Kiss My Tims, Space Jam, Island Gang. I could go on and on. Like Godsent. There's like, 5, 6, 7 teams that are always there when it comes to the playoffs. They're always, in the finals, semifinals, and stuff like that. So obviously I'm not talking about those teams. Those teams are, they're established. They're very, very good prom teams every single year in 2K. But the teams outside of that, like these teams that try to like say that they're super good because they play in the WR like this, or because they play, look at the snatch block by my boy Boom, just because they play in WR or they play in the MPBA or one of these other leagues, like just because you play in it doesn't make you a good team, doesn't make you comp. Like it's the same thing with comp stage players. Just because you play in the stage doesn't mean you're good. If you win in the stage, then okay, you could talk. If you win in the Pro-Am leagues, then you could talk. Like, and I'm not saying about this unknown team. I have never talked to them. I have no idea if they're one of those people that are like that. But as somebody that has posted Pro-Am gameplays in the past, people, they tend to comment like, "Oh, you don't play WR or you don't play MPBA. You're not comp. You're playing against randoms." Like, that doesn't mean anything, man. There's teams in this league that we've beaten by 20 and 30 points. Does that make them good because they've played in the league for the last 6 years? No. It's our first year in the league and we're smacking you by 30. Obviously, that doesn't mean you're comp just because you play in the league, okay? You gotta win. No matter where you play, you gotta win. That's what makes you quote unquote comp. But anyways, you see basically second quarter comes around, we get our defense going, and my 6'10 slasher, like when we get off in transition, it is over because I'm going to get to the basket, whether it's a lay-in, whether it's a dunk, and alley-oops on this build are insane. Like it's just lobs all day, like, and it's very, very difficult to stop this year, especially on this build because Wade's throwing with Hall of Fame Lob City passer, and I'm catching with the Hall of Fame Lob City finisher, 99 standing dunk. It's pretty crazy. And then when I get takeover, it's just blow by animations all day. And this was one of our biggest wins, but also just it just encapsulates the way we want to play. Like, we want to get stops and we want to get out in transition, which basically every good team wants to do this year. That's the best way to score on Team Pro. You see, like I said, lobs all day. It's just, if you get stops and get out in transition, that's what's going to really like separate you in terms of, you know, pulling away from people and getting wins. Again, lob, dunk all over 2-3 people. The lobs are just crazy, especially on this build when we get off in transition. So, like I said, 3,000 likes, I'll stream the playoffs, and I'll stream them on YouTube so that you guys can watch, because not a lot of Pro-Am is ever streamed on YouTube. So I'll stream it on YouTube. I don't mind. See 29 points for me at the half. We're up by, what is that, like 25 or 21 or whatever. I can't even do the math. But right off the bat, we're back to the lobs. Now, the reason I'm posting this is just because it kind of shows how we want to play. You see, once we get stops off in transition, alley-oops all day, my slasher is just going to work. But I'll stream the playoffs. I don't want to stream the regular season, honestly, because it's a lot of games like this. Like, I don't know how many people would be interested in watching us beat a team by 20 or 30 points. You know what I mean? So my goal was to stream it, like I said. But as soon as we played, like, the first couple games, I'm like, bro, we're blowing these teams out. Like, I don't think people are going to tune into the stream. And I'm not trying to have you guys in there, like, falling asleep because we're up by so much. But come the playoffs, that's when obviously you're playing the better teams, the Kiss My Tims, the Space Jams, the, you know, the Godsends, etc., the Island Gangs. And then that's when it's going to become like, you know, best of 3, best of 5, best of 7 series. Money's on the line. Like, that's when, like, it becomes very, very, very competitive. The regular season is 25 games. You got to get all the games in within, I think it's like 3 weeks. And then, you know, I don't know how many teams make the playoffs, but once the playoffs come around, that's when it's going to become real serious. But basically, we got a couple offensive plays we run in the half court, but when you get stops like this and it just becomes a transition game, like, my build is just absolutely perfect to get out in transition. Obviously, our lockdown gets out in transition a lot too. It's usually me and him playing at the top of, well, if we do play zone, it's me and him at the top of the zone, so we're just getting stops and we're just getting out in transition. I can work the baseline here, like, out of the corner. Obviously, I can shoot corners. You just saw me hit a three a few plays back. For the most part, I mean, we have plays that we run. We're working on them here. Lob to the point guard off a cut. You know, so we're getting our nice little rhythm. It's our first time in the league. And like I said, I'm going to show you the standings and stuff at the end of this. But basically, this was the summary of the game. We just basically beat the brakes off. And we beat them by like 40 or 50. Just steals all day, lobs all day. Transition buckets. It's basically rinse and repeat in terms of playing teams like this. But we have had a few games that are competitive. We had one game that we won by 3 or 2. It was a really close game. Outside of that, every game was double digit games, you know, 15, 20, 25. So we're off to a good start. We're going to be wrapping up our regular season within the next week or two. Our lockdown went away for a couple of weeks, so we're waiting for him to come, or not a couple of weeks, a couple of days. I'm sorry, obviously not a couple of weeks, a couple of days. And when he comes back, then we'll be back in the regular season. That basically wraps it up here. You see 105 to 55. Ended off with a lob that gets me to 50 piece. So this was one of my first games in the league on a 6'10" pure slasher. I go for 50 points on 24 for 28 shooting. I mean, like I said, it was basically this type of game, but over and over again. Like, we didn't win every game by like 40 or 50 like this, but for the most part, like, these teams that swear just because they're in the league, they're comp, like, I'm sorry, like, that's not the way it works. You gotta win. If you win, then you can talk. If you're not winning, what can you really say? You know what I mean? And we haven't won anything, so I'm not saying like we're comp, but I'm just saying people that try to like down talk you because you're playing Pro-Am, but you're not playing in a league, don't let that fool you, bro. Like, if you're not like one of the teams that I named that are always in the top, you know, semifinals and finals and stuff, winning the league, you're just another team that decided to pay the money to get into the league. That doesn't make you comp. Like, these dudes paid money, and this is not a shot at this team, but like, this team paid money and we just beat them by 50. They paid money to play in the league and got beat by 50. I don't mind. Like, that's their choice. They want to play against good teams, of course. Yeah, pay the money, get in the league, and you'll get to play against good teams. But just because you paid the money to get in the league, that doesn't make you a great Pro-Am team. You got to go in the league and actually do your thing. But anyways, check it out. Here's the league standings. You see, we've played 12 games at this point. We are 12-0. This standings is it's just strictly ordered by number of wins. So you see, there's teams with like 8 losses ahead of us and stuff, just because they have more wins than us. But this is the standings right now. Our team has talked to me. We're at number 10 right now. We're 12-0. 25 game regular season, so we got to wrap up the rest of our games. If you go over the 25 games, I'm not sure if they all count. Like, you see that one team is 21 wins, 5 losses. They have more than 25 games. I don't know what happens if they all count, but you have to play a minimum of 25 games. So we're about halfway through. Like I said, 3,000 likes. I'll stream the playoffs for you guys. They should be crazy, and I'm out.